You're watching Pulse for the 22nd of March, and it is once again time for some StarCraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at the latest GSL updates, including the Code A and Code S brackets and groups, a bit of news on the MLG Winter Championships, the finals of the TeamLiquid eSports Bracket, including a related song from TotalBiscuit, and more. Let's get straight to the news. We're going to start this episode off by jumping straight into the GSL updates. The GSL Season 2 Code S groups have been completed, and you can see them on your screens right now, or in a moment at least. You can also have a look at the way that all of this was worked out. The players were divided into tiers, and the tiers were split evenly between the groups. That's Group A all the way through to Group H. I have to say that it feels like this season, more so than the others, has a really decent spread amongst the players. There are no real groups of death here, but let's have a look at them anyway. In Group A, we've got Dongregu, the STC, Teja, and Jakji. Group B has Genius, Boong Boong, Seed, and Supernova. Group C has Alive, July, Zenio, and Marine King. That's actually a group I'm very keen to see. Group D has Gumiho, Maru, Hero, and Curious. Group E has MC, Virus, Inca, and Nesty. Group F, MMA, Squirtle, Leenock, and Nada. Some of my favorite players in that group right there. I can't wait to see Squirtle and Leenock playing Code S again. And then in Group G, Puzzle, Naniwa, Ryung, and MVP. And lastly in Group H, Parting, Pult, Finn, and Z. It is all incredibly exciting, and you can check those groups out for yourselves in the links below this video or over at the GomTV website. You can also have a look at the map pool and, as I mentioned before, the method that they use to split these players into the different tiers. But now let's have a look at what's going on in the Code A. The extremely extensive Code A brackets have yet again been released, and you can see them scrolling down your screens right now. I am once again not going to be covering this in full till it progresses a little bit further. You can obviously, if you're interested, see the players participating in the Code A this time around on your screens right now or in the description below this video. In one quick GSL extra, you can read how In Control is set to cast for GomTV in the future. We did actually know this before, or at least we had heard rumors about it, but it seems like In Control's turn to cast Code A could be coming sooner than expected. Now we're gonna have a quick talk about StarCraft 2 at the MLG Winter Championships. First up, the full player list for MLG Columbus, happening from March the 23rd till the 25th, has been revealed. And you have to keep in mind that there's the open bracket, which I'm definitely not going to be covering here, with a ton of players in, and then we've got the slightly more important top 16. The top 16 players have already been divided into the 4 pools of play. Pool A consists of Marine King, Gunzi, MC, and Sase. Pool B, Dongregu, Naniwa, Demuslim, and Heypro. Pool C, Huck, Violet, Ret, and Soke. And lastly, Pool D has Oz, Parting, Grubby, and the STC. If you were planning on watching MLG Columbus live this weekend, then you're going to be watching and listening to the soothing commentary from Tasteless, Artosis, DJ Wheat, Day 9, JP McDaniel, and none other than Rob Simpson from Blizzard. Sounds absolutely amazing to me, and if you want to read all about everything I just spoke about, you can do so below, and this even includes a full broadcast schedule for the entire weekend. It is all well worth checking out, so try to catch those games live this weekend if you can. Now we're going to move straight into the community news and have a look at the TeamLiquid eSports Bracket. As I mentioned last week, TeamLiquid have finally decided to answer that burning question on everyone's minds. What is most esports? They've created a seeded bracket of 32 competitors who will vie for the title. You can see on your screens right now that the brackets have already progressed all the way to the finals. And in the finals, we've got White Raw's Special Tactics against Day 9's Trumpets. A tough match if there ever was one. Special Tactics has a slight lead at the moment with 57% over the 43 of the Trumpets, but I'm not sure if that lead will hold. Day 9 does have a lot of fans. It does seem, however, like TotalBiscuit and many of the other competitors are pushing votes towards Special Tactics, which in my opinion is probably the right thing to do, seeing that there's not much that's more esports than White Raw and his special way of doing things. So while there weren't any prizes or anything at stake here, it was still very interesting to follow the progress of these brackets. If you were at all interested in these, which were you voting for? Which did you think was most esports? My 2 personal favorites definitely made it to the finals, but I wouldn't have minded seeing Poop Feast 420 up there as well, seeing that he was in the run-in. But anyway, as an extra to this, you can also check out a very interesting video from TotalBiscuit. This is a song and a parody of Seal's Kiss from a Rose titled The Butthurt Ballad. Now, while the title may not be the most catchy thing ever, it's just a bit of fun from TotalBiscuit to try and spice up the contest. Needless to say, it is worth checking out, and something tells me that TotalBiscuit is enjoying this whole singing thing a little bit too much. Give it a listen right here on YouTube. With that done, let's move on to the StarCraft 2 Smalls. First up in the tournament and event Smalls, check out the casters poll for IPL 4 in Vegas. The DreamHack 2012 tournament and event details and player seedings have been announced, so you can have a look at those too. And lastly, yes, there are only 3 tournament and event Smalls. Have a look at a Best in China show match between ST Miss and Cola Girl. There are a couple more community Smalls though. Activision has registered ActivisionNews.com. That's pretty interesting. Check out the top 15 best-selling PC games of all time. Both StarCraft 1 and 2 are in that list. Check out an interview with FXO's boss, a spotlight on Slayer's Maya, meet Artosis and In Control at PAX East. Read all there is to read about the Fnatic Pro Gaming House in Korea, and then read some info on a possible Razer Pro Gaming House. Have a look at the latest episode of The Executives, that's number 4, and it's titled The Business of Being TotalBiscuit. Lastly, it seems like Boxer, MMA, Eve, and Jessica from the Slayers clan are making a short film or advert for an MMO called Troy. Interesting stuff, and you can read more about that and everything else that I mentioned in the description below this video. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the StarCraft news this week. Check back here soon for more, like the video and do all that other good stuff, and most importantly, happy StarCrafting.